What are the different frame rates and formats, and when are they used? In the previous video, we were introduced to three traditional frame rates, 24, 25, and 30 FPS. However, there are many more frame rates that we will see in real life. In this video, we will take a closer look at the different frame rates, their real-world uses, and how they came to be. Here is a list of common frame rates you may come across in the modern day. 24, 23.976, 25, 29.97, drop frame and non-drop frame, 30, 48, 50, and 60. 24 FPS remains the standard when working with traditional film and animation. 23.976 FPS, sometimes labeled 23.98, is the digital equivalent to film's 24 FPS. I will explain a little bit later why there is a difference of 0.1% between the two, but for now it is good to know that it is the digital standard for a, quote, film look. 25 FPS, as mentioned in the previous video, is the standard for film and television production in PAL and CCAM regions, which is most of Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania, and part of South America. 29.97 FPS is the standard for color television broadcasts in NTSC regions. You might hear about 29.97 drop frame and non-drop frame, but they are both the same number of frames per second. The difference is in how they are counted or measured in timecode. There will be a whole video discussing this topic. Again, I will explain a little bit later why there's a difference of 0.1% between 30 and 29.97 FPS. 30 FPS is the standard for black and white broadcast television. However, many cameras, including your phones, can choose to shoot at 30 FPS. In the professional video world, this frame rate is not very common. 48 FPS is more of an experimental film rate. At 2 times the rate of traditional film, it has less motion blur than 24 FPS, but the extra realistic look and feel of it is not always well received by audiences. 50 FPS is similar in concept, but at 2 times the rate of 25 FPS. However, there may be more common use cases in video production for online platforms like YouTube and live streaming sites such as Twitch. 60 FPS is the standard for many video games, even in PAL and CCAM regions, and increasingly online platforms like YouTube or live streaming sites like Twitch. However, in most traditional film and video productions, these frame rates are not very common. The chosen frame rate for a project might have little impact on how you tackle a film or video, though it is extremely important to be aware of what the established frame rate is for any phase of a project. For example, a film may have been shot at 25 FPS, but was then converted down to 23.976 for post-production workflow and delivery. If you ever receive an updated copy of a video file and things aren't syncing up as they should, verify that the file was exported at 23.976 and not 25 by accident. The chances are high that if you are working on modern film and video productions, the frame rate will likely either be 23.976 or 29.97 FPS for NTSC regions, and 25 FPS for PAL and CCAM regions. Finally, let's talk about why there is 0.1% difference between 30 versus 29.97 FPS and 24 versus 23.976. When color television was introduced, the refresh frequency was shifted down by 0.1% to approximately 59.94 Hz. This eliminated stationary dot patterns in the difference frequency between the sound and color carriers. There is a lot more technical information available for this topic on the internet. As it is not too important to understand for most day-to-day needs of audio-video professionals, I will not cover this in detail here, but I encourage you to do more research if it interests you.